In this tutorial, we are going to build an apartment block, duplicate it a bunch of times to create an apartment building, shatter a part of the building, simulate the destruction, add some extra detail using particles, and then finally render out an amazing destruction effect. I won't cover texturing the apartment in this video, but this method will work just as well with a textured object. The beauty of this method is that, unlike cell fracture, this method will work even if your topology is terrible. Let's not waste any time and dive straight into this tutorial. Okay guys, so we want to start with opening up a new Blender scene, then selecting everything and hitting X to delete. Then we want to add in a new cube, tab into edit mode and scale it up a bit. This is going to be one apartment block, so we want to scale it down a bit and use face selection to inset this front face right here. Then we want to extrude it backwards a little bit to give some space for the balcony, and hit Ctrl R to give some loop cuts. To create the windows, we want to select these two faces right here, then hit I to inset them and use their individual origins, scale them down a bit. To give some details around the windows, we can just use E to extrude, then I to inset, and E to extrude one more time. Just like that. Actually, we can do that one more time. Now we just try to add some detail here. This isn't a modeling tutorial, but we want to have a nice base to fracture later. To give some more details, we can use another couple of loop cuts like this. Then if we hit C, we can select all these faces right here. So hit I 2 times and then extrude that as well. There we have our windows. Let's add a door. So select these two faces and then hit I to inset them. Scale it down a bit. Maybe extrude it. Inset, extrude, inset, and extrude. You get the point. There we have our door and our two windows. Now we could add a loop cut here, bring it out a bit, then select these faces right here. Just shift clicking and then extrude them up a bit, like that. And tab out of edit mode, add in a new cube, scale it down and make it longer, like this. So we get kind of a rail here. To make some sticks that connect here, we can duplicate this, hit R to rotate it 90 degrees, scale it down and place it on the end here. Then we can go to the modifier tab and add an array modifier and select relative offset on the Z axis. And we can just add in some more, tab into edit mode and scale it down a bit to make it thinner. Add in some more and hover over this with your mouse, then hit Ctrl A to apply it to the mesh. And for this tutorial I'm not gonna do the windows, so we can just delete those. And now if we select this block and then add an array modifier, you'll see that they start stacking sideways like this. Let's use 4 maybe. And then add in another array modifier, but this time select relative offset on the Z axis, just type 1 and increase that to, let's see, how many do we want? 6 maybe? To be able to use this method, we want this object that we want to fracture to have enough geometry, because right now we have these big faces and it's not really going to work that well. So we're going to add a subdivision surface modifier, set it to simple and use a subdivision level of 3. Then hit Ctrl A to apply that. And as you'll see, we have some more geometry to work with. So just select this object and tab into edit mode. Head to front view and we can start selecting the faces that we want to fracture. So I want an explosion to happen right in the middle here. So I'm just gonna use face selection, then hit C to bring up this selection tool. And if you scroll with your scroll wheel, you can change the radius that we select with. I'm just gonna go ahead and randomly select some faces right here. do this in wireframe mode so we don't miss anything. When you select, you want to select a slightly larger area than you want to fracture, so that we have some extra geometry around the edges. So I think something like this should be good. Okay, let's go with that. And we don't want to include these faces, these back faces right here, so we can just hit C to open up the selection tool and then use the scroll wheel, press down on the scroll wheel to deselect these faces. When you're happy with your selection, you can just hit P and separate by selection. Then let's go to object mode and hide this other part for now. And to actually fracture this, we want to select the object, hit Object, Quick Effects, Quick Explode. And if you hit space to play, you'll see that the object has been fractured into actually 100 pieces right now. We can change that to be a little bit more by changing this number here, so I'm going with 1000. That looks good, but we don't want them to actually fracture apart like this. So we're gonna go to physics and then turn that off. So just select none. So if we just apply this now by hovering over these modifiers and hitting Ctrl A and removing the particle system, and then go to edit mode, select everything by hitting A and then P, separate by loose parts, we'll get loads of fractured pieces like this. But most of these are really flat, so we want to add some thickness to it. Just select everything, then go to one of the pieces and add in a solidify modifier. And as you can see, this gives some thickness to the pieces. And then go to Edit, Preferences, and search for Copy Attributes. And enable that add-on. This will allow us to hit Ctrl C and select Copy Modifiers to copy this Solidify modifier to all of our pieces. And that looks fine by me, so we can just select everything and then hit Ctrl A, Visual Geometry to Mesh, to apply the modifiers. Now before we can simulate anything, you'll notice that the origins are a bit off, so we want to select everything, hit Ctrl A and apply all transform data, and then go to Object, Set Origin to Center of Mass Surface. And now we have our fractured pieces. To actually simulate this breaking apart, we want to add a rigid body modifier to all of these pieces. So just select everything and then go to Object, Rigid Body, Add Active. And if we just save here and hit play, you'll notice that the objects fracture apart. And now to make the edges stay, we can just go to wireframe, use our selection tool and select some random pieces here around the edges. And to make them actually stay in one place, we're going to head to their physics properties and hold the Alt button and press animated. This will make it so they stay in one place but still interact with the rest of the pieces. If we hit play now, we'll notice that we have some rough edges. But I noticed that I also want the planes here to have some rough edges, so I'm just gonna use my selection tool and select some of these pieces in the back here. Oh, let's see. If you select too much, you can use the same tool but use the middle mouse button to deselect it. We'll just go through and select some of these edges. Then to make them stay in one place, we can go into one of them, and this one already has the animated box checked, so just right click that and then select copy to selected. This will make them all stay in one place. Now, to make the explosion be a bit more violent and throw pieces out, we can add in a collision sphere, give it a rigid body modifier, and set it to animated as well. So just scale that up and place it in the explosion. And place it right here. This will make it so that once we play the animation, the pieces in the middle will get pushed out and create the effect of an explosion. So just hide that for now and head to frame 1 and hit space to bake it. Now, to add in some extra detail like small debris, we want to add in a particle system. To do that, we're going to use an emitter. So add in a UV sphere, go into edit mode and delete half of it. Scale it down a bit, apply the scale and add in a new particle system. We want all the particles to be emitted at frame 1, so we're changing the end frame to 1 as well. Number, I think we can increase that a little bit, so I'm gonna go with 2000. And also we want to increase the lifetime to something like 250 frames, so it covers the entire simulation. We can set the velocity to be 10 and randomize it by 5. To make the particles, we can just select some of these pieces right here, hit Shift D to duplicate them and put them on the side here. Just select everything and then hit M, move to new collection and name it debris. You can move these aside for now, go to the particle emitter, and on a render we can change it from halo to collection and choose our debris collection. Increase the scale a bit, then give it some randomness. And we also want them to be randomly rotated, so enable rotation, set phase to 1 and randomize phase to 2. You can set this to dynamic and give it some random velocity. Now select this emitter, scale it down a bit and move it to the center of the explosion. Just move and scale it until you have it where you want it to be. To make sure that the emitter isn't visible in our renders, we just uncheck this box, show emitter, under the render options. Before we bake everything, we want to add in a new plane to act as our collision. Just scale it up a bit and move it to the bottom of the apartments. Give it a rigid body and set it to passive. And now we can just go to frame 1, then hit space to bake everything. Okay, so once you're done baking, just add in a sun lamp, enable motion blur and render it out. Let's see what we got. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will try to put out videos like this way more often now, so if you like this kind of content, why not subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions or want to suggest a future effect, feel free to leave a comment and I'll read and answer all of them. Again, thank you for watching and see you on the next one.